a 7-footer, and God forbid, like a 6'11" foot, he gives us trouble and bounces in the first round of tournament, things are going to change quick around here.
Yeah.
Because then it's going to become, Kelsey, you've never won a tournament game. What's going on?
Yeah. No.
You have all this talent. What's going on? You have a lottery pick. We don't know if he's going to play again, but he said he's going to play soon, so he'll play soon. But you have a lottery pick. You know, you have all this talent. What's going on?
Yeah. No.
And those are questions you don't want to answer as a coach.
That's fair. I mean, everything that you said is fair. It's completely on point. I totally agree with you, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, it's unfortunate that Louisville's in this situation, but you know, like this is the thing. Like the Haven, and I said this after Louisville lost that game to Tennessee, is that you know they were going out there against Montana. They were playing against the Grizzlies before ACC play got started with going out to Cal and Stanford. It was like, you know, Javon Hadley can play against Cal. He can play against Montana. He can play against Stanford because they don't necessarily have the big physical interior line that's going to be able to exploit Louisville in that way. So it's almost like a false sense of security that like he can go out there, he can put up really good numbers and can look, you know, extremely strong, but it's because it's matchup based. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like fool's gold because you can go out there and look good in those games, but you know that other shoe is waiting to drop right down the road. You know what I mean? Like, so it doesn't really.
Yeah, you know what's coming. You know, and what makes it worse than that, you don't want to build a reputation for yourself.
Yeah,
that you can beat good schools, the bad schools. Yeah. You can beat those guys all day long, and you can run them out the gym in by 20 points. But when you play like elite level schools, you can't get it done, and that's not the reputation that you want to have.
Yeah, no, I mean, Louisville's got to do something. I mean, I just hope, I feel like Coach Kelsey is going to get it figured out. I feel like he's not going to just be stubborn guy all year long because I think that he wants to, you know, I think he wants to win more than anything else. Now, I do have a texter texting in saying that London Johnson is being activated today. The G League superstar that, you know, Louisville's bringing in, the point guard. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. I need
whoa! That's huge because you asked Pat Kelsey point blank in the Duke press conference about London, and he told you no.
Yeah,
he was not going to play.
Yeah. I mean, he said that is not the plan. There's no consideration to that at the time. You know, because of the Louisville had, you know, the thing about it was we saw it against Stanford in the second half. We saw it a little bit even against Cal in the second half, and then of course against Duke, where it really felt like Ryan Conwell got a little. I don't know if it's tired or exhausted, and we started to see a lot of turnovers in the second half because Conwell's not used to being that primary ball handler. We saw a lot of turnovers in the second half, so I just went out and asked. I was like, you know, with the fact that now London Johnson should be available, I know that the plan was to redshirt him, but do you he said Seth Davis is reporting about London Johnson. I asked him, I was like, you know, is there consideration to playing London Johnson to kind of help with the ball handling issues? You know, because of the, you know, not having Michael Brown there and Ryan Conwell seeming to wear out in games. And he just looked at me and he's like, no, that's not the plan. But he did say that's not the plan right now. So right now could have been maybe just in that press conference. Because
I'm at Tuesday.
I mean, no, but like, Haven, like, what's the point of, like, even with like Muhammad Kamara, the young man from Africa that's sitting out, you know, from NBA Africa, you know,
redshirts days.
Right.
The day the transfer portal NIL, who red shirts?
You know, I mean,
nobody red shirts these days because you don't know these guys going to be here next year.
Right. I mean, just the whole red shirting thing is just like that. That's a very passe, kind of past its prime type of deal. You know. Yeah, let's see. It said 29 minutes ago, Seth Davis, who's breaking. Hoops HQ has learned that Louisville has activated former G League guard London Johnson for the remainder of the season. He will be available to play today versus Boston College. So, I mean.
So the next question is, what does this mean for Michael?
Well, I mean.
Because there's all sorts of rumors out there about him playing, and we know Coach has said emphatically that he will play soon. His back injury is almost done with his back injury and doing everything else. He's going to play soon, but those other rumors about him maybe not still persistently, like, what do you think?
I mean, I think that Michael's going to come back. I do think he's going to come back. I think that the back spasms are a real thing. And I think that, while London Johnson is available, I don't think that London Johnson's activation has anything to do with Michael, because I'm going to be honest with you. I think that Louisville could utilize London Johnson even with a healthy Michael. And the reason I say that is because, the hope coming into the year was that the combination of Adrian Woolley and Kobe Rogers would be good enough to be able to handle kind of the reserve spot for Louisville. But I just don't think that necessarily is going to work. So with that, because those guys just aren't natural point guards. They're both more scoring guards. You know what I mean? Like Kobe's a defensive specialist that really doesn't create for others that well. And Adrian Woolley's more of a true wing. So with that being the case, there's really no backup true point guard, and London Johnson would be a true point guard, a guy who's physical, a guy who can take the bump, a guy who's aggressive getting to the basket, can finish, and can create for others. So, I mean, I think that London Johnson would have a role on this team regardless. So, I mean, that's great news with Seth Davis finding that out. Thanks, Texter, for both Texters for sending that information to us. So, we'll have to kind of talk about that and think about that on the other end. We're already way late for a break, so let's go ahead. Haven Hanson, you going to hang with us for another segment?
Man, let's run.
Say that one more time. You're kind of breaking up.
I'm here at 10 o'clock. Let's do it.
My man. Cool. So, hey, you are listening to Wake Up 502. We'll be back on the Big X in just a minute and continue this interesting discussion. And we'll be back. back. Welcome back in. Second segment of the show, Big X Sports Radio, Wake Up 502. Joining you as always on a beautiful Saturday morning, Raashaan Myers being joined now in studio. We got intern Dre in the studio. Dre, what's happening? Oh, hold on. So let's try that other mic. Try that one more time, Dre.
Pretty good.
There he goes. That's what I'm talking about. You doing all right this morning?
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Good. I'm very interested. I know you got some hot takes for me about this NFL playoffs. Hopefully, you got a little something on these college football playoffs as well. I need some Dre hot takes this morning. Haven Harrington, you still on the line with us?
I'm still here.
That's what I'm talking about. So we did have before we went to the break, we did have the big news breaking that London Johnson, the former G League Ignite guard that Louisville brought in at mid-semester, will now be activated. This is via Seth Davis at Hoops HQ. It looks like he's going to be activated, and moving forward the rest of the season, he will be available. Coming on the heels. Now, Haven, I don't want to just take credit for the fact that London Johnson is now playing, but I do feel that my question ignited Pat Kelsey into doing this. What do you think about that?
I agree with you, man. You asked the question, was like, you know what? That's a good idea.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So I'll go ahead and take credit. So if Louisville turns it around and once they make the Final Four, everybody can give me those props. So, Dre, you heard it here first. Like, you have to tell all your friends that, Raashaan, the host of the show that you're a part of, it was all him, So, Pat Kelsey, I want my Final Four ring. That's all I'm going to say. But no, I mean, Haven, I think this is huge news. Like, I really do. Like, I know I talked about what I felt, London could bring to this team. Like, do you agree with that? Like, are you on the camp that you feel like London Johnson playing means something about Michael Brown, or do you think this is just being done individual, or do you think there is an issue with Michael right now, or the fact that he may be trying to hide himself, from draft guys that may look at what he's doing and be trying to help maybe save his draft stock?
I think it's all the above. I think this has something to do with Michael not playing, because you can tell when he gets asked questions about if Michael's playing or not, how angry he gets or frustrated he gets that Michael is in the lineup. And you saw what Duke did to Conley, right? You saw how they double-teamed him. They pushed him out. They made him handle the ball. They made him try to dribble on him, and he just couldn't do it. He felt supremely uncomfortable, and you could tell, like, that's not the game that he wants to play. And it was obvious that Louisville needed another, like, true ball handler, a guy that can get there, they can create his own shots, they can create shots for others, and it was a threat to take it to the basket and score. And now you have that again. And to have a backup just in case something, when Michael does come back, because we all know how back frees are, like, right? Like, you have a bad back, I have a bad back. We know how you feel great for a couple of weeks, for a couple of months, then all of a sudden you bend down to tie your shoe and you're out for a month and you're just in agony, right?
Yeah.
So this is a great insurance policy in case something like that happens again. Now, like I said before, I'm kind of surprised Michael didn't play against Duke. The guy who's trying status, you would think that you want some of these marquee games to play against, to show people what you can do against the best competition. Now, he has about a couple more weeks, has a chance to play Duke again in Cameron Indoor Stadium. So
yeah, that's the end of this month. I believe the 23rd.
So you still have time to show people what you can do, but the time is getting limited.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's getting short real quick, and we've seen him slide a little bit in draft boards. We've seen guys like Kingston Flemings and Darius Acuff, so a couple of the other top freshman point guards, as well as that young man Okori out there at Stanford, who put up 28 against Louisville in that upset win. We're seeing some of these other guys start to get some credit, and I think that, Michael and his people see that, and they want to go out there and prove that there's a reason why he was so highly thought of, and Some people think that he might be the first point guard taken and is a top 5 pick. So I think that there's a lot of motivation. And I think, if anything, I think that London Johnson being out there, especially if London can come out and give Louisville some quality time on the court, that's going to motivate him to get back. Now, we got to do a quick housekeeping thing real quick. Dre, intern James is at the door. Can you let him in? He said he just rang the door, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Look, see, you know what? We got the best interns and assistants in the business.
I'm telling you, you know what? I cannot wait to hear Dre's breakdown of the college football playoffs.
I know.
Dre is a football phenom at 13, and I can't wait to hear him talk about like what's going on and what's going to happen Monday in the national championship game.
I know. You know what? And we're going to get to that like as soon as Dre comes back and gets in the building, because I know you said you're going to be running out at 10, right? You're going to at the top of the hour. You got to roll.
Yeah, I'm about 10, and I'm gonna let Jerry take over at 10, and then Leanne's coming in at 10:30.
Yeah,
and man, it was like she was at the game, she was at the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah,
so she can give you exactly what that felt like.
Absolutely, no. So I definitely want to hear from Leanne. I cannot wait. But before we get you out of here, I definitely want to talk a little bit about this college football playoff. And Dre, we were talking about you while you were gone. But I want to hear your thoughts. So of course we had the 2 college football playoff games. We had Indiana put the beat down on Oregon last night.
I watched that game. It was terrible.
It was the pick 6 to begin the game. I was like, okay, I know how this is gonna go.
Then they scored. I'm like, okay, this might be a good game. And then they just like dropped the ball, like really dropped the ball each time.
It's crazy. It was crazy. Like Indiana being this good is disturbing. I don't know why it's so disturbing to me, but like there's just something about them being able to flip the script and just beat down everybody.
Like that happened. Miami was gonna lose, and then they're gonna say, "Well, we're gonna move conferences, and then move to like the Big Ten, and then they're gonna keep on losing each year." And that's be crazy.
Hey, no, but look, like this is the thing. I feel like Louisville is in a win-win situation with having Indiana and Miami both in the championship game. Regardless of who wins, I feel like that's good for U of L. And the reason I say that is if Miami wins, then Louisville can say, you know what? Miami man won the championship, but we beat that tail down there at Miami. So we'll have that. We can hang over everybody's head forever. It's like we beat up the national champions at their own crib. Like nobody else can say that. So I think we get bragging rights there. And if Indiana wins, it's like, okay, Indiana was like the worst team in Power 5. They have like the worst winning percentage. I think they have like a .143 winning percentage all time, which means they lose almost 9 of every 10 games they've ever played in their history. So if that team wins, then it's like, okay, well, if Indiana can win, then Louisville can surely win. Definitely. They can win.
They ducked us. They ducked us 2 years in a row.
And they ducked us. Yes, they were supposed to play Louisville this year, and they bought out of the contract. So we can be like, we can play that Indiana was scared of us and we beat Miami. So you know what? Louisville's like the honorary national champion.
Hang the banner.
Yeah. Absolutely. So that's the way I look at it. But but let me ask you, Dre, do you think there is any chance that Miami can beat, because Indiana's blowing out everybody. Do you think Miami has any chance against Indiana next week?
No, Carson Beck has thrown under like 120 yards each playoff game.
Yeah.
So he did have that good, like, spectacular run that Mil Moss could do against Boston College that one time.
Yes.
It was kind of like sprinting almost. He looked like he was jogging to the pylon, but it was like, I don't know. The defense is good, but we can see we saw how we saw Mendoza diced up all the defenses.
Yeah, he diced.
Like, he is such a good player. I just don't know if anyone can stop him almost.
Yeah. Hey, check this out, y'all. Yeah, this is a real stat. Okay, in the 2 college football playoff games, Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback for Indiana, has more touchdowns than he has incompletions through 2 games. It's unbelievable.
And it's not checkdowns either.
No, he's throwing the ball down the field as a Las Vegas / Oakland / Los Angeles Raiders fan. Okay, the Raiders have the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, and
I can hear it in my head. I can hear it in my head.
Yeah, like I was like, you know what?
Take him.
I'm saying take him. Like Fernando Mendoza's that man.
Or do you think it was just the coaches and he's just gonna be a bust in the NFL?
I mean, he could be, but I mean, I'm getting Joe Burrow vibes from him. Like that's who he reminds me of. Like
everyone on the LSU team in 2019 was all like,
I know,
top
Jamar Chase,
yes,
Justin Jefferson,
all of them.
Like,
but on the Miami team, it's all just traditional. Run down your throat. You can't stop us.
Oh yeah, Miami's playing true bully ball. That's all Miami's doing.
Throw all your stuff at me. You cannot stop us. We're gonna throw the ball on screens, bubbles, occasionally go routes, but no one can catch that. Even though like throws it to like the back pylon sometimes, but it's fine.
Intern James is in here as well. James, you think Miami got any shot against Indiana? James said that, like the look on James' face before he even answered, I already knew it. That
defense wins championships, and Miami's defense is real.
That's true.
That pass rush is real.
No, defense
don't
games.
Count out to you. They're bully balling their way to the national championship game. I mean, think about this way: they haven't even needed really Carson Beck. Except for that last game when he drive against Ole Miss. Other than that, they haven't really playing bully ball. They really just run your throws for Fletcher, throw it up to Malachi Tony and let him do something amazing every now and then, and just run it down your throat and then play stifling defense.
I agree with you, and that's the one thing I will say about this matchup. And like I said, I learned this several years ago when the New York Giants won, a couple of Super Bowls there when Eli Manning was still there, was that the Giants were never the best team. Like you had the Patriots that were a better team. You've had some other teams in the NFC that probably should have been better than the Giants. But the one thing the Giants had was a dominant defensive line. And when you have a dominant defensive line, you can wreck shop on anything that the other team wants to do. And that's the one thing that Miami has.
The Panthers. You saw the Panthers and the Broncos, right, with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning had a new alarm. He can throw for 35 yards.
Yeah.
But they had a defense and the best running game. Trent Dilfer, the Baltimore Ravens, was a horrible quarterback.
Yeah.
A horrible quarterback. But you had a defense and a good running game. That's all Miami had. They have a defense.
They got Ruben Bain. They got Mesidor.
The best wide receiver in college football.
Yeah. I mean, and you got Malachi Tony. And you have a physical running game. I mean, and that's been their recipe for success. So all I'm going to say is this, Jay and James, Miami, if Miami can continue to play their game, this is definitely going to be a line of scrimmage game. And if Miami's offensive and defensive lines can show up, it can be a game. It can be a game. Even though Indiana's been impressive, it's just, Miami got dogs. They got dogs.
Well, the problem Miami's too prone to playing sloppy. Oh, yeah. Like they should have blown out Ole Miss, but they dropped 4 interceptions.
I know. Yeah.
And they're like 100 million penalty yards.
Well, that was a crazy thing.
Way too sloppy. But they were just so dominant, they still won.
Yeah, Miami had a B-.
Dominated Ole Miss.
Yeah, they played probably a B-, C+ game against Ole Miss, and they still won, which is crazy. Like you said, dropped 4 easy interceptions. Had just some odd. They kind of quit running the ball to start the second half and kind of allowed Ole Miss to get back into it, even though Ole Miss wasn't scoring touchdowns. They were only scoring field goals. Miami kind of lost their mojo there, at halftime. But even with all of that, they still won. They are making the ACC look so much better. I'm going to tell you this right now. If we come into next year and there's like 9 SEC teams in the top 10, Haven Harrington, I'm going to lose my mind.
Now there will be. I will say this. So, like you had Clemson, you had Florida State all upset because they won't get enough money. They want to join the big team. They want to join the SEC because they're not getting any money. They're not making as money as those other teams are, blah, blah, blah. And so the ACC bent over backwards for these guys and say, you know what, you can keep all of your playoff money if you make it to the playoffs. You can keep, based on television revenue, we'll change our distribution model. So basically you guys keep all the money and all you guys should be happy. Clemson still sucks. Florida State still sucks. Miami is walking away with $20 million for the championship run.
That is insane. $20 million is what Miami is making on this run, and they don't have to share it at all with anybody. You know what, though? And this is one thing that I think that one of those unintended consequences of this. Do you think, Haven, that I know Notre Dame is Notre Dame, and, that they are just this, we're going to be a independent forever. But with this new sharing setup, one of the big draws for Notre Dame is when they get into the college football playoff, they get to keep all that money. The fact that they could still keep all that money in the ACC if they did join as a member, do you think that could change their opinions on that at all? Especially with the fact they were left out this year?
Never. But if you were Notre Dame, why would you change? You have a sweetheart deal with the playoff committee that says if you're ranked in top 10, you're automatically in. I mean, ranked in the top 12, you're automatically in. Regardless of what happens, you're in.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the sweetheart of the sweetheart deal. Like, they whine and everything else. You should have been in, not Miami. You should have been in, not Miami. ACC, why are you talking about us? We're friends. And then it's like, but don't forget, we signed this deal that next year we're in regardless.
That's fair.
No. Notre Dame.
All right. I mean, I just wondered, just with them being left out this year and the fact that, them not being in the conference hurt them. I just wonder if at some point are the Golden Domers going to have to relook and reevaluate their situation. I just think that,
no, as long as these guys get sweetheart deals by the playoff committee, they're not going to have to change anything. But the playoff committee, everybody was upset and all this other stuff, and I was upset too because to me, the team that should have been left out was Alabama.
Yeah.
The way they ended the season, they had no right being in the playoff, and it showed.
Yeah. No, I am right there with you. There was a lot of frauds. There was a lot of spots that were taken that should not have been taken. But Haven Harrington, we're going to go ahead. We're going to get to the break. Thank you so much for calling in. When we get back on the other side, of course, Jay Hass is going to be checking in. We're going to be checking in on your text as well. 502-414-1450. That is the Game Day Men's Health text line. 502-384-1450. That is the Call Your Law Office hotline. You can give us a call there as well. You are listening to Wake Up 502. Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington, intern Dre, intern Jay, cast the thousands, and we'll be back on the Big X. anticipating that now he will play. The great thing about this, fellas, is that London has more than 1 year of eligibility. The NCAA actually granted London with 2 years of eligibility. So he's only considered a junior. So he can play this year and still have a whole nother year next year as well. So big news on that. I know we have Jay Has on the line as well. You can go ahead and bring him in, Jay, on there. Jay Has, how you doing this morning?
Doing fine, sir. Doing fine. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing well, man. We just got this news about London Johnson. The former G League Ignite point guard is gonna looks like he may make his debut for Louisville today. What you think about that?
Well, it's a good thing. You open up the can of worms every day in the press conference about that.
I mean, the question had to be asked, Jay, right? With the ball handling issues and some of the problems that Louisville's been having. I mean, you got to find out if, hey, you got a guy who can play. You got to play him, right?
Yes, sir. I don't believe in that red shirt crap anymore.
No, I mean,
you know the kid going to stay there or not next year. You know?
Yeah. So,
you got to play these kids, man. Quit playing.
I mean, you got a guy. He has multiple years of eligibility. You know, why not go ahead and get him out there and play him? You know, I said the same thing about Muhammad Kamara. If Louisville needed more size and athleticism, you know, you got a 6'10" athletic freak on the bench as well. You know, if you think he can help, go ahead and put him out there. Now, I definitely understand with the depth that the 4 and the 3 and the 5 that maybe that's not the best move for Muhammad, but I think the London Johnson can help Louisville. You think he can help him out at all?
Of course. 6'5" to shoot, play defense. This is not nothing new to him. He's been through the process before.
Yeah.
So I think he's ready. Tremendous athletic. That 6'5", 6'6" kid. Can jump out of the gym. Great penetration. Just getting to the glass. I mean, he do all sorts of things, man, to help this program. Actually, he helped Louisville, actually.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, Jay. So what did you think about the game against Duke on Tuesday, man? Like, Louisville had the lead at halftime. They had the 9-point lead. Duke kind of played bully ball in the second half. Are you worried about what Louisville can do moving forward, or you just think it was more about the fact that Michael wasn't there and Kelsey's still trying to figure some things out? What do you think?
I don't know, man. Just the continuity, the chemistry, it needs to be redeveloped. Kelsey to go back into the film room and get with the coaches and say, hey, there's something we need to do quick and fast. Regardless if you have Michael or not. I remember the movie called 300. And sometimes, man, you got to dig a little deeper and get an opportunity, man, to win. But once Kelsey better get it together, if you don't get it together, you know what's going to happen. There'll be another transfer right outside his door. That's
No, that's funny, man. No, I think he's gonna get together. Like I said, I think that he's definitely been a little bit stubborn with the lineups. I think he likes having that smaller lineup with Javon Hadley at the 4. But I think that he's been motivated. The way that Duke has beaten Louisville the last 3 times that they've played, the way Tennessee beat Louisville, the way Arkansas beat Louisville, I feel like Coach Kelsey is going to make the adjustments he needs to get it done. I just think that he really I think he loves Javon Hadley. I think he loves having Isaac McKinley out there.
Is garbage. You only be playing for Louisville.
I mean, now that Jay, he's not terrible. He's playing out of position. He just can't play down forward. He plays shooting guard at Colorado.
I know something, man. We got this kid. I mean,
yeah, I mean, he's playing against 4 or 5 inches taller than him and probably 70 or 80 pounds heavier. You know, it's like there's only so much you can do. Like if they try to put Dre on me in the post, Dre can go as hard as he wants to. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna wear Dre's tail out on that block. That's at the end of, regardless. It just sometimes you just can't, having heart and playing hard. Dre's like if you play it on defensive line. Okay, if you play it on the defensive line and you got an offensive lineman that outweighs you by 80 pounds, 90 pounds, if he gets his hands on you, it's over. You can use all the speed and quickness you can, right? But like if a guy's just bigger than you, it just
There's nothing you can do, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You know, and that's where I look at it with Hadley. Like, Hadley's like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, she think 6'5".
Yeah, going against big 6'10".
Well, you know me, I'm not gonna make a excuse for this kid, you know, for Hadley. I'm just gonna tell you how I feel, what I think about this kid.
Yes, sir.
But I'm here to tell you, if Kelsey don't get this continuity together, they'll beat by some times today.
Oh yeah.
You ain't never seen them. Well, this is the first time they play on CW.
Yeah.
Really, I heard see cartoons and and Leave It to Beaver and everything on CW.
That's hilarious. So, yeah, because we got number 23 Virginia coming up next week. So, yeah, I mean, they'll win today, but you got a really good Virginia team coming in next week. So they need to get some reps. London Johnson needs to get in there, start learning how to play with Conwell and with Woolley and all these guys. I love the fact that he's there. But, yeah, I think ultimately today is practice for what's going to happen next Tuesday. What else you got for us this morning, Jay?
Well, there's a lot going on for the next couple of months, man. This is probably one of the best times of the year for Waco 502 and myself, and for the Kentucky Derby just around the corner, and I feel so good, man. They got the birthday celebration. I'm coming up next month, and
Jay has birthday, man.
I'm just so excited, man. Then he got the award coming up February the 1st. Martin Luther King Sports Awards coming up, and man, I'm just excited, man. I just count my blessings, man. It's always better to be seen to be viewed.
There you go. Jay has it's 2026, brother. It's a whole new year. I got people already asked me about the Jay Has birthday bash. I'm very excited for you getting that award February 1st. So it's going to be a good year, brother. I appreciate you calling us this morning.
All right, Doc. As always, we go to Waco 502 Sports Show. Raashaan Haven. Have a great day, guys.
Yes,
Raashaan, you ain't got too much longer. You got less than an hour left, man. You got to get up to the Young Center.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be headed down there, and hopefully we're going to get to see some London Johnson action, so then I can go in and ask Kelsey about that. Hopefully he don't get mad at me. Appreciate it, Jay. There you go. One of the best to ever do it. Jay has joined us this morning. Appreciate him. Now, James, I believe we have some text into the Game Day Men's Health text line. What we got going on in there today?
Sure, we got a couple in here. First off, it says, I agree with Haven. There's no reason to redshirt anyone except if they're injured and can't play.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, redshirting is very much, that's like old school. Like when, you didn't
football only.
Yes. Yeah. Like, in football, I can understand redshirting because physically the demands of the game, guys got to get in the gym. They got to get bigger. They got to be stronger. Basketball, it's not really the thing,
With NIL these days, they can go to some other team, the D2, get more money than ACC and Louisville's gonna give them anyway. So
yeah, I mean, hey, I say play because you can always leave. Like James, what do you think about that? Do you think there's any value in that red shirt, and especially for basketball at this point?
I don't really hear about it in basketball as much as I do football. Not really. I just don't see it. I don't understand it really.
I agree. Because especially with and like you said, Dre, with the age of transfer portal, guys can leave every year. So the fact that Muhammad Kamara is not playing, do you really think that Muhammad Kamara is going to stay at Louisville for 5 years?
If he doesn't play next year, I don't think he's going to come back to Louisville.
That's what I'm saying. So at that point, if he's not going to be here for 5 years, why are you redshirting him? Unless there's an injury.
At least see what he can do. I don't know, that one in NJTV.
Oh, yeah.
They blew him up it was 50 to 17.
Yeah, exactly. Play him against NJIT. Let's see what he I don't get it. I understood. I understand football. I understand, if you have an offensive lineman that comes in undersized, maybe he's 265, 270, you need to get him up to 290, 300. I can understand that in football. Yeah. But basketball, I don't get the whole red shirt thing. But the great thing is, London Johnson's going to play today. I don't know if that means anything for Mo Kamara. It seems like they're pretty set at that spot. I think that they need to give, honestly, more minutes for Kenai Roos more than anything. Kenai is the one dude on the team that is like an athletic demon.
And he's still growing too, because last year he was 6'9". This year he's 6'10".
Yeah, he's 6'10", almost 6'11". He's, he was almost looking James Scott, who's 6'11". He was almost looking James Scott in the eye last year. You know, and now he's almost as big as Ali Khalifa. Ali Khalifa's listed as 7 foot tall this year by U of L. So, I mean, Kanai's got athleticism. He's got size. He's not necessarily shooting the ball well, but I don't even want him to shoot the ball. I'm going to be like this. Look, brother, like, pump fake, you can get to the rim on 2 steps from the 3-point line. So ball fake, jab step, go.
And go to the free throw line.
And go to the free throw line. Exactly. You're big.
Make the free throw.
Yeah, and he's a good free throw shooter. That's the thing. Kanai's a good free throw shooter. So, I mean, I think that this is going to really help Louisville. I'm excited about it. I was already excited to get back in the gym just to see what adjustments Coach Kelsey is going to make. But with London being there, hopefully Kanai's going to play more. Ali Khalifa had a great game, and I'm tired of people everybody talk about Ali because Ali ain't athletic. They always talk he can't jump, he can't jump.
Yeah, he cannot jump.
You know, but I'm like, hey, but he's a great passer. Dude can pass the ball like Magic Johnson, and he hit 5 threes last game.
In a good scheme, he can definitely knock down, pass, maybe even drive to the basket sometimes.
Yeah, he's like does like the baby Jokic thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, to me, I like that. I like Ali Khalifa. Everybody always pick on my man. I'm tired of talking about Ali. So what else we got on there, James?
We just got an interesting text come through. It says you all need to check out Purdue about redshirting. They redshirt a lot of their big guys so they can get an extra year in the weight room so they can come out strong. Just saying. Trey Kaufman-Wren is one example. Also, Jack Bittner.
Yeah, no, I know that's definitely true. I know that there's a big 7'2", 7'3" guy that Purdue has. I can't think of the kid's name.
I think they pay him more money to stay though too.
There's definitely
Big Ten team.
There's definitely pros to redshirting. I mean, you get to see what they can do while they're not really playing in real competition.
Yeah,
but it's not really a true test of skill if they're not in an in-game situation, because that's when people really show what they can do. Like, you can do whatever you want in practice all the time. There's practice warriors, but
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, and I think that especially in Muhammad Kamar's case, because he's coming from NBA Africa, a lot of the times, I can't remember the big guy that Kenny Payne brought in a couple of years ago. I can't remember his name, but he was a guy who came over from Africa, had a lot of athleticism, but kind of was raw as a player, couldn't really dribble, was kind of wild, trying to set screens, offensive fouls. You know what I mean? Like, a dude like that, I can see giving him time.
Yeah.
You know? So, I think that there is value to it in some cases, but it's just very rare. If you're like an American-born player that's been hooping your whole life, just let them, just get them out there.
See what they can do.
Absolutely. Like, I can understand Purdue, especially when they have those big, skinny 7-footers. I think Zach Edey, when he first got there, I think he redshirted because he was skinny. Zach Edey was like 7'4", but dude was like 185 pounds, something crazy. He was like super tall, but like super skinny. And of course, now Edie's like 280 pounds.
Yeah.
So, that red shirt worked. That's what I mean. There are times when it definitely works. So, do we got anything else on the text line, James?
We do. And I have a question about red shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a new thing? Isn't there a new thing? Like, you can play up into a certain amount of games? Like,
so in football, that is a wonderful question. And this is one thing I wish they would adopt in basketball, because as it stands right now in college athletics, if you're a football player, you can play up to 4 games and retain your red shirt. You can play in 25, 20, it's either 20%, 25% of your games. Yeah. No, you can play 3 games. Excuse me. You can play up to 20% of your games, so you can play 3 games and retain your red shirt, and you still keep it for next year. College basketball, that doesn't exist. In college basketball, if you play 1 game, you burn your whole year, which I think that's kind of silly. Like, to me, you should be able to play in at least 6 games, because you got 32 games in the regular season in college basketball. So the fact that you can play in 3 of 12 college football games, but you can't play in a single basketball game,
without losing that status.
That don't make no sense. So I feel like you should be able to play 6 games and retain your red shirt. That's not been adopted by college basketball, but that's a good question, Jay.
All right, we got more text coming through. Hey, fellas, hats off to Indiana. I live and work on the sunny side and have listened to Sour Grape IU folks for years. I'm not a fan at all, but their dominating run has been something to see. I hope the game with Miami is a good one, but won't be surprised if it's a version of last night's result. They make no mistakes. Take a bow, Hoosiers, and go Cards.
Hey, you know what? There's been a lot of people, and I know you all don't really know much about the Indiana-Louisville rivalry just because it's not really been a thing for the last several years. Like, they've played here and there in basketball, but that's been pretty much it. I know they played a couple of years ago in football. But, like, there's a lot of people like Louisville fans. Like I understand Kentucky fans. Like Kentucky and Indiana have like a legit. They hate each other. Like they just don't like each other. Kind of like Louisville and Memphis fans.
And
like,
Cincinnati.
Yeah, the same thing with Cincinnati. Like we just don't like Cincinnati. We don't like them. We don't like their city. We talk about them. We talk about their team.
But we never play.
Yeah, exactly. Even though we never play. Like that's kind of the Kentucky Indiana thing. But with me, Louisville and Indiana don't really have an issue with each other. But there's been a lot of Louisville fans hating on Indiana. Like I think it's cool that they're making this run.
You can tell them that they lose like every single year. It's like the first like 10 win season like in like 25 years. So.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's
they
crazy.
They haven't been good.
They've been terrible forever.
Someone said the redshirt rule is 4 games.
Yeah, oh yeah, is it 4 games? Okay, yeah. I know it's 3 or 4 games in football, but yes, none for basketball. So bull.
Someone said now we deflect into the championship because we're gonna play a G League player.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. Like, I think that this young man is very good. I know a lot of the G League guys that have been playing so far. Like, I know there's a G League guy with Baylor, and then there's a G League guy with BYU as well that are playing this year. And Santa Clara also has a G League guy. I've been keeping up with the G League guys just to see how they've been playing. The Baylor kid didn't really do much. Like, maybe.
I know in football there was like this guy that didn't go to college. He went straight to the NFL.
Yeah.
But he's like 32 years old and went back to college to play for Arkansas.
I saw that.
And he tore his ACL.
I saw that. He got drafted, never played in the NFL, and now he's going back to Arkansas. I saw that tight end, I think. Yeah, it's very weird. It's a very weird time in college athletics where you can have guys that are like kind of pro, but still have college. It's very weird. I
feel like you have to at least play 2 years in college for both. So
I think it is right now. Like you can be drafted. Like there's a kid that got drafted. He was the 38th pick in the NBA draft. Mm-hmm. That's now apparently eligible. Kyrie Walker is the guy's name. Okay. But Kyrie never played in a game. Like he got drafted by, I think it was the Sixers, but he never played in the NBA. Like he was a second round pick, and Philly never called him up. Yeah. So he's been out of college or he left high school like 6 years ago. So. But he's never played. I'm like, I don't care. Like, if you've never played, if you've earned an NBA paycheck, like if you played in an NBA game, yes, you can't go back and play college. Same with NFL. If you play in an NFL game, you can't go back and play college football. You know what I mean? But if you never played college sports and you get drafted, but you never play, I think I'm fine with it. Like, did y'all have a problem with that?
No, I mean, if like you said, if you play if you play a professional game, I don't feel like you should be able to go back. But if you never have, I mean, I just don't see why not. I
agree. I like it. Anything that's going to get the players more power and ability, like I'm all about it. Especially because Cam is still out there. Cam took off this year, but I like the fact that all these young athletes are getting all these opportunities. I keep telling Cam, I'm like, son, you're 6'7", you can jump out the gym. You might want to.
I mean, hey, there's 30-year-olds still playing college ball.
That's what I'm saying. So, if he wants to go out and get in the work world for a couple years, get a little bit bigger and stronger, and then decide to turn around, hey.
And not that it's crazy, but who's that? There's a quarterback. I think he's 23. Is it Carson Beck?
No. Yeah. Well, Carson Beck's like 20. This is 6th year of college. Sixth, yeah. No, either 6th or 7th year.
No, I think it's just. I don't know how many years. It's around that number.
Well, they were talking about him. Like they were talking about his like recruiting class. It's like
yeah, there was a whole bunch of players that are already
the quarterback for the Broncos. Bo Nix. Him and Bo Nix were in the same high school class.
Like Kyle Shuck and Amon St. Brown in the same class.
Jackson Smith and Jim, but he was in his freshman class too.
That's crazy. Like it's crazy. Like and yet Carson Beck is still hanging around in college. You know what I'm saying?
I know for a while, and like for past 10, maybe 5 years, that Georgia's just been like the Goliath, just standing over all teams in like college football.
Yeah,
and they only lost like 2 teams.
Yeah,
and the same team with Alabama twice in the SEC championship game.
And after all that, Georgia loses in their very first college football playoff game. I loved it.
Yes.
I absolutely.
That was a fun game.
Anytime the SEC loses in anything, I'm a certified SEC hater. Hate everything SEC. So I loved it. I loved watching Alabama get whooped by Indiana. Anything that makes the SEC people saying this year they are 1-7 against like all other power teams in the bowls this year.
Kentucky shouldn't be in the SEC at all.
Terrible. Kentucky's terrible. Yeah. They even worse. Will Stein, that's their new coach, the offensive coordinator from Oregon, the former Louisville quarterback. Yeah. He's now the coach at Kentucky. So the Kentucky people were talking smack because Oregon made this run. They're like, look, our coach is in the Final Four. Yeah, right. That right there. That one right there, Dre. Tell them again. That's what I'm talking about.
They don't lose.
Do we got any more texts in there, Dre? I mean, James?
Last one.
Yes.
It says, Pat Kelsey needs to go. We should have got Dusty May.
That's wild.
We should have kept, think we should have kept Kenny Payne then?
Oh, no. No, absolutely
Man,
not.
that should not be named in the KFC Yum Center.
You wash your mouth out with soap, sir. Now, you know what? Look, Dusty May's killing it at Michigan. All right, like Michigan's blowing out everybody. They've been very impressive this year. I give Dusty May all the credit for that. But I love Pat Kelsey. I think Pat Kelsey is going to get it together. I just feel like Pat Kelsey still has to adjust. People got to understand, the dude's not been coaching at the big-time Power 5 level. This is only second year.
He still wants to prove himself.
He still wants to prove himself, and he still has to learn what works. You know what I mean? Like, it's still a learning process. Even though he's a coach, he's still a coach that stepped up to the big leagues. So when you step up, there's a lot of times there's an adjustment period. And I think he's still kind of learning what does and doesn't work. And he'll figure it out. I just think that this year he's being a little bit more, I don't know if it's necessarily being stubborn. I think he loves the guys that he has out there, and he's worried about if I set Javon Hadley on the bench or if I set Isaac McNeely on the bench.
He's scared that he'll look last year.
Yeah.
Even though he has the same old move, back him down to the
you can't do it. You can't. You gotta adjust. Teams are ready for that. Duke was ready for that, and once Duke was like, okay, we're just not gonna let them do anything. We're just gonna be real physical. We're gonna be real aggressive, and we're gonna attack the rim. And we couldn't do anything. I mean, and at that point, you got to get crazy man Kason Pryor out there. You got to get Kenai Roos out there. You got to get Big Fru out there going to the basket, get him the ball low where he can attack and do some damage at the rim. You got to make changes. Like, you just can't.
I liked how they used the big lineup with Khalifa and Fru, then Roos all in the game.
Yes.
Because they all had the jumps and they could all put the ball back in.
And not only, who else they had in that lineup? They had Khalifa, Fru, Roos, and they had Hadley at the 2. They had Hadley at the 2 guard.
Yeah, so he could
you know what I mean? Like that.
Shoot the ball too.
Yes.
So.
Yes. I mean, that's what, just get big, be physical. It's okay. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, we got to go. Go ahead, get to break. We got thanks to the good people over there at the Louisville First Radio Network for checking in with Wake Up 502 this morning. You can make sure to check us out every Saturday, 9 to 11. Appreciate you guys. Are going to be sending you to Paul Rogers for Louisville pregame as we get countdown to Boston College, Louisville, London Johnson debut. Super excited for that. For everybody listening to Wake Up 502, come back. We got one more segment. We're going to have Leanne Herring joining us. We're going to talk more college football playoff. We're going to talk a little bit about some of these transfer portal guys that Louisville's got in there. Jeff Brom is rolling. The NIL is flowing. This is Wake Up 502. Raashaan, James, Dre, and we'll be back on the Big X. 502, Raashaan, James, Dre, everybody joining. Thanks so much to Haven Harrington calling in earlier. We had Jay Has on as well. Appreciate everybody checking us out this morning. Just trying to make you all's morning, as you get ready for this game today, a little bit more entertaining. And I do got to remind everybody, make sure you go check out our good friends at the Feet First store in Jeffersonville, Indiana. Feet First is helping Kentuckiana move better and feel better every day. If you are dealing with plantar fasciitis, knee pain, back pain, or you spend all day on your feet at work, they have you covered. Their personally fitted orthotic system is designed to improve balance, alignment, and overall comfort. Athletes can see better stability and performance, and everyday workers get the relief they need to keep going strong. I actually have my orthotics in like right now, and they are absolutely amazing. Make sure you go out there, schedule your appointment by calling 812-725-0208 or visiting feetfirststore.com to book online. You can find the Feet First store in Jeffersonville, Indiana, 2781 Jefferson Center Way, and they will take care of you. Holler at my man Chris Cannon. Chris is a great dude. He's super as passionate as I am about Louisville athletics. That man is passionate about feet. I've never seen anybody get excited talking about feet the way Chris is excited talking about feet. But go out there, make sure you tell him Wake Up 502 and Raashaan sent you, and he will get you all the way together. Do we have a Leanne on the line there, James?
No, not yet.
No Leanne as of yet. That's all right. We're going to keep it rolling. Me and Dre were in here talking about some of these transfer portal additions. And Louisville, Dre, is doing work in the transfer portal. Like there was a whole lot of talk and a whole lot of conversation about Jeff Brom, when they were looking at, is Jeff Brom going to go to Michigan? Is Jeff Brom going to take the Penn State job? There was a lot of conversation about that. And there was a lot of conversation about NIL. And will Louisville have the money to compete? From what I understand, they said like last year, Louisville had what'd they say? I think they said Louisville was 12th in terms of budget in the NIL, which is crazy to me considering that Louisville football has been one of the best, 3 or 4 teams in the ACC for the last several years, and definitely since Coach Brom has been here. So hearing that they were only 12th in terms of spending was kind of crazy. But Jeff made it a point to say, look, I want to come back. I love Louisville. I want to be here, but I need money. If it don't make dollars, then it don't make sense. You feel me? Like
part of the reason Isaac Brown chose to stay.
Absolutely, yes. Sure, yeah. And like that's what got everything started, right? Was like Isaac Brown announced. Everybody thought that Isaac was going to Texas. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows that Texas was dropping a bag on Isaac. And it sounded like some of the big time boosters and along with the big dog, Vince Marrow. He's kind of the recruiting guru, recruiting director for U of L. They put the tweet out saying, hey, mission complete. My boy's back. And like from there on, it has been on. Like when you talk about some of these, to highlight some of these transfers, we had Trey Richardson. He was one of the newest transfers, 4-star transfer from Vanderbilt. He was Diego Pavia's number 1 receiver, absolute beast. A lot of people like to compare him to Zay Flowers, kind of a little bit undersized, about 5'10", but fast, great hands, great route runner, very physical. Mm-hmm. They were able to get that done. Louisville needs a lot of help at wide receiver. They have positions in general. Yeah. I think they had, I think quarterback and wide receiver, they lost pretty much everybody. Like Louisville had just Briggs Cherry, who is going to be playing in the Navy All-American game today, by the way, on NBC. If you want to check him out later on, I'm going to have to put that on record because I'll be at the Yum Center. I think that starts at noon. Yes. But they didn't have any quarterbacks. They were able to get that done with Lincoln Kindholtz, the transfer from Ohio State.
Didn't we get a quarterback?
Yeah, Lincoln Kindholtz. We brought in Lincoln, but I think that they're probably going to have to bring in somebody else because right now they only have 2 quarterbacks on roster.
Okay. Yeah.
So I would think that they're going to.
I think they're going to get the guy from JMU.
Okay.
I think.
Alonzo Barnett.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. Like Alonzo Barnett's not like they're going to need to bring in a couple of guys. I mean, it's kind of like Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Like Trinidad Chambliss, the guy who, ends up playing in the Final Four, for Ole Miss. He was the backup at Ole Miss. They just needed somebody else to fill in. So they bring in Trinidad, who was a D2 champion. They didn't even Ole Miss didn't even expect for this guy to play, but their starter gets hurt, and then Trinidad comes in, looks like Superman.
Hey,
you
just need one shot.
That's it. That's it. So I think that Louisville's going to definitely bring in at least one more, probably two more quarterbacks from the transfer portal. But everybody seems to love Lincoln Kindholz. I'm kind of on the fence just because he's never played. He was 3 years at Ohio State and really never played. And to me, and y'all can tell me your opinion on this, and I would like you all's opinions because y'all are football guys. And to me, if a quarterback has not played in 3 years at a school, is he really that good?
So I think last year before Sand was going to start, they had like this position battle.
Yes,
and people were talking about Sand's going to lose and. Because it looked like he was going to win.
Yeah.
But then somehow, I guess they gave him the number 1 spot.
Yeah.
But when he did get in, he showed like a lot of promise, I thought.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I keep hearing is that, Kindholz is competitive. He's a, very athletic guy. He has a lot of heart. He's a dog. He's aggressive. But I mean, like what James, what do you think? Like, I feel like I know I'm kind of rough on Kindholz. But like to me, I'm like, dude, if you ain't really played, like he didn't play at all as a freshman. He didn't play really. He was third string as a sophomore, and this year he got beat out by Julian Sayin for the starting spot. So I mean, can he really be that good?
I mean, Julian Sayin. You can't really. Julian Sayin's a good quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he was a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Yes,
but
he was.
I mean, just because Lincoln Kindholz,
Kindholz.
Yeah. I feel like he's a solid quarterback. His career stats are good. He's 21 for 36 on his career through 2025. He has 250 passing yards and 1 passing touchdown. To not really in 0 interceptions, to not play that much, to not have the experience that he has. Sure, it's not a lot of room to mess up, but he's used the room he has and he's done good with it. I saw a stat line. I can't remember what it was, but it was a stat line when it said that we were bringing him in, and it was impressive. It was a pretty impressive stat line. So I feel like once he gets in the system and he can adapt to it and just get a feel for the game, I feel like he'll be able to do well.
But Ohio State does have a good wide receiver room, so we could just be throwing up.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, you got Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah Smith can make anybody look good. I would think. I think I could play quarterback and just throw the ball up and be like, go get it. You know. But, hey, by the way, James, look out for Leanne. I think she just sent the text. She's about to call in.
Okay, but yes, I mean, we're just gonna have to see. I mean, we're getting transfers at the skill position over, so see how they mesh together.
Yeah.
We have some new linemen, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh no, the offensive line. They said that they were going to make a point. That they were going to focus on the line big time. And I think you saw that. They got the big guy. What is his name? We got Daughtry, Eric Daughtry from Boston College.
Yeah.
Big dude, 6'3", 305. I was super impressed with the Boston College offensive line last year. Like, that was one team where I literally said this while I was sitting in the press room watching the game. Watching Boston College sucked last year. They didn't have any. Quarterback was terrible.
Yeah.
Running back was Turbo Richard was okay. Didn't have any wide receivers. Didn't really have any speed. But the one thing that impressed me about them, their offensive line were mashers. Like, they were monsters at the point.
They pushed Kelvin off the line.
Yes.
Bernard off the line.
They were super physical. I was like, my God, Boston College, like, they don't have anything else, but their offensive line is ridiculous. And so to get a guy off of that line, I was super excited. I like him. They brought in Anwar O'Neal. He was a transfer from the Blue Hens. Delaware. Thank you. That's Trey. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. They brought in. I like that. Anwar O'Neal. They brought in him from Delaware. They also brought in. There was another big guy they brought in as well, Johnny Brown. They brought him over from Georgia Southern. Big guy, 6'3", 315. And they also brought in another big guy from South Carolina, offensive lineman. So, like, they made a point to go out there and get bigger, more physical, really addressed a lot of key issues on that offensive line. They brought Tyler Thompson in, defensive end. He and Clev Lubin were the best two pass rushers in the ACC last year, and now they're both on the same line, which excites me, as well as they brought back A.J. Green.
I need this to be like the 2023 Louisville defense.
Absolutely. Well, I'm still interested to find out who the defensive coordinator is going to be because, of course, Ron English is gone now.
Yeah.
He made the announcement that he's going to go take the year to kind of be with his son. His son is a senior at Navy, plays football at Navy, and he wants to kind of follow him around. So we got to figure out what's going to happen with that. But I will just say this. I think that they did a really good job addressing a lot of issues and situations. They needed a big-time tight end. They went and got the number one tight end in the portal. Brody Foley.
Yeah.
He came over from Tulsa, 6'6", 260 pounds. They say he's a beast in the run game as a blocker, and then he's also got speed and athleticism to catch the ball, kind of like what we saw Jeremy Johnson doing for Oregon. Even though Oregon got busted, Jeremy balled.
Yeah.
So
we do have Leanne on.
We got Leanne on the line. Leanne, good morning. How you doing? Sorry we're getting you late, but I'm so happy you could join us.
Good to be back. Man, if you guys, I think we can officially say that the U is definitely back. And if you guys don't think that Indiana is the number one deserving team in this college football playoff, then you guys got some serious blinders, and you probably still think the SEC is the best conference in the thing. Man, what a finish. What a college football playoff and championship we have. Talk about the storylines here. So glad to be back. I know we don't have a lot of time. I normally would be calling you this morning from San Antonio for the All-American Bowl, but man, there is a lot of chatter with Louisville natives being some of the top guys at some 2027 are coming off the board, hoping the Cardinals can get them. So I don't know what we want to dissect first, but let's get to it.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about the All-American Bowl. Briggs Cherry, from what I understand, Leanne, has been turning some heads down there in San Antonio. Have you heard any buzz about how he's doing down there at all?
Actually, Briggs is a kid that I've watched. We had looked at him one time at Ole Miss, but he's out from the Baylor school. We had several kids out on our Ole Miss roster with Baylor school roots. Of course, we know our current commit, Keegan Croucher, is now going to be stepping up as Briggs is heading down to the Ville. He's a Connecticut quarterback, Ole Miss commit. Highly touted. He's going to be taking the place down there for Briggs. But man, when I see him, he's kind of one of your classic quarterbacks. Nothing extremely fancy, but he's very meticulous. He just operates very smart, has a really high football IQ. So I've been watching Briggs for a while. I think Louisville's going to do well. I think he's going to fit well under how the way Jeff Brom and that system runs. He's very good at commanding, executing, well under pressure. And like I said, the Baylor school kind of one of those private schools. Okay. They recruit a lot of kids from Canada. They recruit a lot of interesting players. And man, they got their running backs down there. We have Chicago Mills Knight, who was down there a couple seasons ago at Ole Miss. They just have a unique way of thinking. I like what Briggs Cherry is going to do, down for the Cardinals in there. But I think there's a lot of 2027 kids. Jihad Brown, of course, Christian Academy. There's a couple kids down there that are going to be making live commitments today. This kid, he may be a 3-star wide receiver, but when you see him, from what I've seen on the tape, he's really showed out there this week. I think he's got the Cards, Alabama, Ole Miss, Indiana, Vanderbilt. The Hoosiers have been, trending. Kirk Spaghetti and his staff has done a really good job of recruiting. He's set to announce today. He's only 5'10", 186, but like I said, he makes up from what I've seen on the day. He's really locked in and been a great. He's really been able to keep up with some of those taller guys for being a 2027 guy. Another kid too. Like I said, Louisville Louisville has been the talk of a pretty quiet All-American week in the thing. Another kid, of course, I think that everybody's been looking at is Darren Hobbs, another kid out of Christian Academy, plays that safety linebacker role. He's another kid out of that 2027 class that's going to set to announce. I think he's got Notre Dame, Vandy, IU, Louisville, and Kentucky. It's kind of been a battle. We know that Kentucky has been on a surge with the recruiting. We've been hearing that it could go back and forth. The Wildcats have been doing a really good job. They really want to keep it. Kentucky's really been looking to build in that secondary. Will Stein's hired some coaches, including, former safety coach out of Houston who's really good at recruiting. But again, this could be another IU win. So So, like I said, the Louisville kids are making some noise down there with the talent. Like I said, a lot of 3-star kids, but you know how I feel about tags, gentlemen. that doesn't show anything about translating. The kid that I'm really, really excited about, and I think it's going to be all Cardinals, is the number 1 player in the class of 2026. You guys know who he is. I'm talking about cornerback, TV, Allen Evans. Another kid out of Trinity. I mean, he is one of the most coveted DBs. I mean, I've been looking at his tape for a long time, as I'm sure you guys have. I mean, he's got that 6'2", 185. I mean, he's just that ideal corner that everybody wants. I think it's down to Tennessee, Louisville, and Penn State. There were some others, Alabama in the mix and everything, but I really think that this is going to be the guy that's going to be putting the L's up today at the All-American Bowl. And this would be a huge win for Jeff Brom in that secondary. I mean, he's just talented. He's sticky in coverage. I mean, just watching his film, I haven't got to watch what he's been doing out there, but I mean, just the size and the strength alone. So I like. From all those 3 and from all those in-state kids, I think that the number 1 player in Kentucky is going to be headed down not too far from home, just around the corner, and I think he stays home. So that's what I like. But they're setting to announce again all 2027 guys. That's a new thing that these All-American Bowls are doing. Remember, it used to just be a senior thing, but now they're starting to let juniors play for bowl season. But that's kind of my take. I'm home in Houston today, sick with the flu, so I didn't want to. I'm not there today. Unfortunately, okay. I think the first one I've missed in like 6 seasons. But yeah, those are who I like. But Louisville kids, the Trinity kids, the Christian Academy kids for this 2027 class, they're going to be ones to watch. Louisville's making a lot of buzz on that national scene. But these are the guys from the area that have the Cardinals on their radar, of course, guys. And then, like I said, a lot of programs looking at, I think last night was the surge, obviously, for Indiana leading the way, Kirk Cignetti. But yeah, I really think that the number 1 player in that class of 2027 will be throwing L's up later today as he announces at the All-American Bowl of St. Antonio.
Hey, that's super exciting. I love to hear it. I hopefully the big dog can keep snatching up that talent. Vince Marrow doing his thing. And plus, Leanne, we need to keep Kirk Cignetti up out of the backyard. The man's coming into Louisville. He's doing too much now, Leanne. Like, I'm okay with Indiana having success, but he need to leave these Louisville boys alone. I don't like it.
No, I agree. But like I said, I think from the roster, this is the first year I've really seen the All-American roster as far as kids out really focused outside, because most of the time when we're talking about these kids, every time we're on the show this year, or when we do, we do the Georgia kids, the Texas kids, but I mean, this class of 2027, there's a lot. I mean, you've seen it firsthand. We've seen it firsthand out there. There's a lot of talent out in Kentucky, like I said. Yeah. Trinity, Christian Academy. I mean, there's several kids in this 2027 class that are making national buzz. But like you said, with IU on the surge being in their backyard, Kirk Cignetti's doing a little bit too much. It's like Lane Kiffin trying to still go out to Oxford and try to poach some kids. But I mean, I think that, like I said, I think that this is going to be a big win, even if they don't not. And two, a lot of these kids, depending how the shift, these are 2027 kids. So remember, those other 2 kids, even if they lock in, don't expect Louisville not to recruit them, because they're secondary guys, they're receiving cores. Those are essential pieces that you need. And we've seen the most successful rosters in the college football playoff. Like Mendoza said it last night, we're a bunch of misfits. We got a team full of no stars, no 5 stars, and look what we've done. And I think Jeff Brom, similar to Cignetti, similar to what Christabel's done, they're old school guys. Building on blue collar things, work ethic, and translating. I think, I wouldn't be surprised if some of these kids don't throw L's up today, but that's not going to stop them getting recruited, because they're in-state kids, and you never want to stop recruiting your in-state kids. And you definitely don't want to lose them to Indiana, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And I know that we don't have a ton of time, but I got to ask you, first of all, an amazing game between Ole Miss and Miami. Trinidad Chambliss did everything he could to get the Rebs over the finish line, fell just short. If you can, just kind of talk about, your thoughts on what happened with Ole Miss, and then also, kind of a little bit about who you think is going to get it done in the championship game next week between Indiana and Miami.
I said this game was going to come down to the trenches. It was going to come down to special teams. These are two dynamic quarterbacks. I said that these are two teams that have the capabilities of being lethal. I think for Ole Miss, what got them in the beginning is that they didn't start that high tempo to get Carson Beck off track. I think that was going to be key. We talked about it, me included, saying that Miami wasn't explosive enough. They needed to be explosive enough. But Miami didn't listen to the hype. Carson Beck, that offensive line, they did what they do well, and that's being meticulous. It was like the best way I could describe the way Georgia played was a slow burn. It was like throwing salt in the wound every time Ole Miss came at it. They were commanding on the drive, and as powerful and stout as that defensive line, they found little ways to derail Ole Miss and not get them in that high tempo thing that they used. We saw sparks of it. There was a couple drives where you could see Tramblers, but I really think that Miami stuck to their guns. They didn't turn away and try to be more explosive to try to go up against Ole Miss. What they did is they used their strength and they made it work for them, but they managed to also stop Ole Miss from doing what they do best, and that's creating a high tempo offense. I think if Ole Miss would have got started a lot earlier, and they would have worn down Miami a lot different. But credit to that offensive line at Miami for giving Carson Beck enough protection up front to be able to not have to be explosive. And I think that was key. I think if Miami had tried to go too much over the top, it would have resulted in Carson Beck getting derailed, getting out of his comfort zone. But kudos to Miami. I really just think it was just one in the trenches. I think that's what it was. But Carson Beck stuck to his guns. Miami stuck to their game plan, did what they know best, used their strengths, and never allowed Ole Miss to get into a high-tempo offense where they would have been susceptible to getting turnovers and those things that have hurt Miami in some of those big games, even the ones that they won.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Now, let me ask you, because I agree with you. I think Miami did a lot of bully ball stuff. I think they leaned on their offensive lines. They leaned on the physicality of their defensive line. Can they do the same thing against Indiana? We know Indiana plays just about perfect football, but, a team with a great defensive line, Leanne, can win a lot of games that people don't think they can, with Ruben Bain, with Mesidor, with all those athletes they have on defense. Can Miami do the same thing against Indiana championship game?
Yeah, I mean, Miami just has to stick to what they do. Don't change it. Don't try to be more explosive. I think Indiana is just almost flawless. I mean, they're not 15-0 for a reason. It's because they play flawless football mentality, rarely create, and that's hard. So, I mean, that's just hard to face because they just don't make mistakes. And you can't say that it's just the once. They've played a sample of different teams, different conferences, and they've matched up. I mean, we're talking about being able to push Oregon that way. Yep. Not that Oregon was top tier, but still, to be able to do that to what's considered one of college football's top tier teams when you're Indiana, I mean, they handled business. I mean, they were just running it up. But you gotta love that mentality Kurt Signetti is. He talks about, you keep playing ball no matter what the score is. If it's up, it's up. You keep playing, and I think that's the mentality. But it's just I haven't sat down and watched the tape through. I think it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be a low. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think the two teams, the way that they're coached, the way I mean, it's going to be. This one's going to be. I can't tell you right now. I'm going to have to sit down, but I think it's going to be a showdown. But I think the toughest part is for Miami to be able to come out on top. I mean, offensive wise, they got Malachi Tony. I've been watching that kid for a long time. Fletcher. I mean, they have the weapons. But what always shoots Miami in the foot is those penalties, those turnovers, those little details that Indiana is really good at picking up, because like you said, you got a team that nearly plays flawless and rarely gets derailed even when their back's against the wall. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup. But hats off to both these teams. They are more than deserving to be here. Like I said, if you don't think the youth pack or Indiana's deserving of being the number one team, you got some serious blinders on, because both these teams have proved, and like I said, not the cleanest football on Miami side, but they proved, and Carson Beck has proved, that they have the weapons to do it. It's not who's going to execute. I think it's going to come down to who plays the cleaner game. Because both these teams have strong weapons on both sides of the ball, but I think the key for Miami here is almost having to play a flawless football game where they don't allow themselves penalties and little things to derail them from Indiana.
Agreed. No, I agree. I agree with you. Thank you so much, Leanne. Appreciate you calling in. Look forward to chatting with you next week as we get ready for that championship game. Thanks so much for calling in, okay?
Sounds good. L's up.
There we go. Hey, and appreciate everybody listening this morning. This is Wake Up 502 for Haven Harrington.
This Kentuckiana's only locally owned sports talk. The Big X, AM 1450 and 96.1 FM, WXVW Jeffersonville.